They're
Pretty
doing
good.
very well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I want to call to order the November 11th Harpers Ferry Town Council meeting. We are called to order at 7 p.m. Let's stand up and do the pledge, particularly for the day like today. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. I have one. I want to strike 5AI. And the reason for the strike is that I received some documentation from the superintendent Friday, I believe, because I requested some feedback from her. She gave me some excellent information, and I've been in contact with the parking committee, and our interests are best served by deferring this item until we all get a chance to sit down with the superintendent, discuss any concerns or issues that she may have regarding that subject. So I'm questioning that we strike 5AI. No second. Is there any discussion on?
We're gonna actually postpone it versus strike it.
We're going to strike it for tonight. I'm going to defer it to another meeting.
Postpone it.
Correct. We'll defer, strike. In other words, we will not be discussing it tonight.
Tonight, at night, later.
Okay, we have a motion, second discussion on that motion. Okay. Roberta, did you have one?
Yes, sir. I'd like to amend the agenda to item 7A up to and after item 3C.
After 3,
After 3C. So item 7A,
okay,
a public comment, public allow that person to leave. I'm gonna have to sit through all this.
is there,
After item 3C.
is there a second on? Second. Second from Storm, any discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Okay, now I need a motion for, go ahead, Zach.
One last amendment, item 7C. This was my suggestion to edit it from discussion action to just discussion only.
Second on that. Second from George. Any discussion? All those in favor of that? Let's have a motion to approve the agenda as amended. To make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Second from me. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor of the motion? Unanimously. Public comment. Do we have anybody?
What do you do?
All right, the first is Wayne Bishop for item 3A.
Okay, I just wanted to thank the mayor again for the, can you hear me? For the unveiling of the flag the other day. Very nice ceremony to see 4 mayors together, and Mayor Addy was there, 93 years old, and it inspired me to read a letter that he wrote over 17 years ago, and I'll read it. I have met with Mr. Stoffel and Miller on several occasions and talked with them on the phone about their plans for the renovation and reconstruction. They intend to restore the hotel to its historic condition when owned by the Lovitz. The engineering studies have been completed for short and long-term projects. The Swan Group will abide by all town ordinances and historic regulations. Mr. Schoffeld plans to make Hilltop a destination hotel on the order of the Inn at Little Washington. All of us look forward to the renaissance of the historic property that has one of the most beautiful views in America. So my respectful comment here is, I think that since it's been over 17 years, I think that there's a lot of lost revenue that we need to look at since 2007, and that would be B&O tax, water revenue, sewer revenue, attorney's fees, professional planner fees, utility engineers, 5-year preparation of ordinance 1313, empty houses, empty businesses, policing, and angry tourists. So my ask this evening is that our council elected officials contact the owners and open the gates to our iconic view again. Again, open our gates to the iconic view. I think that enough is enough, and if they have future plans, they can at least make safe our public right of way. And I would appreciate if our elected officials would lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Wayne, as you're heading back, I just want to had a follow-up discussion with Jim Addy after the ceremony, and he mentioned how great it was to for all of us to get together, and he particularly enjoyed talking with you over here on the side.
Yeah.
Like you told me, after very, very close.
Yeah.
For 93 years old.
Great to talk to him about. I don't want to say the old days, but you know, and you know that was an era. We always came in and shook the mayor's hand before a meeting, and we always smiled, and no matter how difficult the subject matter was.
Yeah. Well, it was.
Thank you.
Good move.
We have one more, Benjamin Buckley on item 7A.
He's on the agenda.
Oh, it's put under the public, or public comment as well?
Do you want him to speak at the agenda item?
Oh, I don't, we're not going to take action if he goes on the public comment.
Okay, so he
That's
just
straight
go at
in.
the agenda.
That's,
Yes,
that's how you want to present that agenda item.
you want to go at the agenda. No,
I think hold off and then we'll speak when it gets called up.
Are there any others, Nate?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Just a quick point. I think Wayne still has the microphone. Thank you for guessing.
Politely waited till everybody finished speaking.
Good thing you-
I noticed that over here. He waited.
Okay.
All right, I think we're ready for mayor's announcement.
Yes, the other thing I had this afternoon, or this morning, Steve and I had the honor of representing Harper's Ferry. Steve had the honor of Oliver at the Veterans Day Parade and Memorial Service up at the school. Those are always very, very moving forward. This is probably the 10th or 15th one I've done, and you know, I never get tired of doing kinds of things. And I would say the auditorium, Steve, was almost packed. There were people up in the balcony too. We had a warrant officer, U.S. Army warrant officer. For the Army, Steve? I think he was. Yeah. And retired Army warrant officer, and basically he did a wonderful job of discussing what a warrant officer is. Anybody has a good perspective on things, and it was very, very meaningful. And it's always a pleasure to see the kids try to struggle through, particularly the four student that plays taps on the trumpet, with 400 people watching him. You know, you're saying get through it without a miscue, and I think they did very well. So, Steve, thank you again, giving me the opportunity to stand next to you. Obviously, there's no one here from the Hilltop, no one here from.
I don't have any comment.
And I'd like.
I'm
to
sorry,
Oh,
bro.
nothing.
Nina. I'm
I'd like
sorry.
to give a Hilltop report.
All right.
And that is, as our former mayor noticed, and I've noticed, there's been no construction. And I'd just like to suggest, Greg, what do you say about giving Laurel a call and asking about getting the gates unlocked?
I'd be glad. Well, I don't know about that, but I'll give her a call and I'll let her know what was spoken here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's the report.
Anything other, Chris?
I have a couple of announcements. One is this Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. West Virginia Rivers will be showing the film The Cost of Forever and Keepers of the Land at Mather Training Center. And the subject of the film is the PFAS contamination that's gotten quite a bit of discussion here and around the state and country. So unfortunately, I'm unable to be there Wednesday night, but if you all are interested, please show up and share that with your contact. The other thing, just a heads up that the Canal Town Partnership has a long tradition of having a holiday luncheon at the Bavarian Inn in Shepherdstown on December 11th. And generally that tends to be the usual representatives and the representatives of the Canal Trust and the park. But if any of you would enjoy going to that and catching up, there's usually I'm not sure who the speaker is going to be, but it's usually an informative session as well as pleasant. So if you'd like an invitation, specifically let me know and I'll see that you get one.
Thank you, Chris. Next item,
Sorry, one other.
I'm sorry, Zach, go.
Under other, just very quickly, that last Thursday, Steve, George, and I had the honor of being judges at the C.W. Shipley Science Fair, and it was extremely impressive. The school hasn't changed much since I was there, but the projects sure are more elaborate, including one extremely impressive scale model of Leonardo da Vinci's corkscrew helicopter by our very own Leo Melton, who lives on West Ridge Street. So I wanted to give him a shout out and just say how inspirational it was to see the next generation of scientists. And there will be a county science fair in January, and they're looking for judges, so there'll be a chance to participate at the next level.
I don't have anything to announce. I was just feeling left out.
Oh.
Peter, can we put Leo Melton in the minutes?
Yeah,
If not with the teacher, maybe in the newsletter. I'll get a picture of the project.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on the other? Okay. Item 7A, discussion action to proclaim December 10 Human Rights Day. Roberta, for the record, you're going to have to, I'm going to turn this again on. Roberta, you have it?
I have it as a co-sponsor, but the initial agenda item came forward from Benjamin Buckley. So I'll turn the floor over to Mr. Benjamin Buckley.
Thank you all very much for this opportunity to present this, and I hope everybody's doing well. I have some handouts that I'd like to give the secretary, and there's 7 of these. So one, their little book, and the draft for each council member. This is pretty simple. It's something that I really believe in, and I would like to see the town of Harpers Ferry adapt this. From 1939 to 1945, our world was deliberately cast into armed conflict. Arguably, between 50 and 85 million people were killed. Along with those who perished, many were injured physically and spiritually. The material losses were incalculable. Dehumanization is an act that sets the groundwork for wars and other atrocities. As a reaction, subsequent to the losses suffered from the Second World War, world leaders convened for about 2 years with a goal to create a formal document that declares the rights of all human beings. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was born on December 10, 1948. The United States of America, along with many other countries, signed an agreement that important document. Today, I respectfully ask the Town Council of Harpers Ferry to proclaim December 10th Human Rights Day this year and every year hereafter. I have prepared a draft of the proclamation. I would like to request that it be reviewed and placed on the Town Council's December 9th, 2024 agenda for adoption that day. I thank you all very much. If you have any questions, you can ask me anything. If not, that's it. Thank you.
Any questions for Benjamin? Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know these are not easy things to put together. We will, Patty, I guess, put this on for consideration at the next meeting. In relation to this, I will say that the town, does have a human rights commission in our ordinances, in Article 137. It was passed in 2013, I believe, right? That was, I think, 2013 it was passed. Consists of 3 members. There are no members now. It was never activated. There were 3 members, I believe, signed by Wayne, but I do not believe they ever met. And therefore, their terms expired. Maybe sometime in the future, we should look at possibly reinvigorating that commission and activating it. There's 12 pages in the Article 137 that talks about it, what the mission is, how many times a year it's supposed to be. That maybe we should re-look at that and re-scope that whole thing. That's got nothing to do with the problem.
Right. That's
But,
well, thank you. Thanks for that.
taking the time to put this together. Roberta?
Yes, and then just quick to add a note that last year was the 75th anniversary of the proclamation, so many cities and towns across the country have been adopting proclamations very similar to what Mr. Buckley has presented. I'd like to make the following motion. Motion to receive the draft proclamation submitted by Ben Buckley to proclaim December 10th, 2024, and thereafter as Human Rights Day, allowing Town Council to review and present for adoption on December 9th, 2024, during Town Council's regular meeting.
Second on the motion.
I'll point out, I think it's out of order to just receive a document, but the rest of it, great.
To receive the draft. You want
Yeah.
To receive the draft? Okay, so how would you like that changed?
Just remove that to have it on the agenda.
Okay, motion to. Okay, let me take this. Okay, motion.
I'd like to raise a point also, if I may, while Roberta is contemplating.
Go ahead, George.
Thank you. The language that you had in your motion, Roberta, indicates that we are to deliberate upon this document and pass this document as is. I'd like us open to amend this document if we see fit.
That's what review, that's why I had review in there, and then anything that comes back from review, you know, if we need to call a special meeting to go over what was reviewed or what's maybe changed. But, it's my understanding that, you know, most of this stuff is word for word from United Nations, and it's like a sample proclamation that United Nations has kind
I
of
think
given
it's
us.
as simple as saying to review the draft proclamation.
Okay, to review, so let me strike receive. To
Right.
review.
Yes.
Because I'd like to point out that there are 3 action elements to this. Yeah, the beginning of it is the whereases are from the United Nations document. However, we have 3 things that are called, the town is agreeing to. We're agreeing to recognize the day, which is not a terribly difficult thing at all, I think, to agree upon. Then, secondly, we're called upon for the town, the Corporation of Harpers Ferry, to hold, and I take it that means the corporation itself will sponsor and organize a public vigil now in perpetuity on December 10th. And then it also calls for a town sponsored, downtown conducted, I take it, by our staff or by our volunteers, vigil at the end of that. And I think it's something that everybody in the town council needs to consider, is whether it's appropriate to have a private group, volunteers, assemble and do these things, and we can, with the blessing of this town, or whether it's the town's business to do this.
Okay.
And that's what my points to make.
Okay, thank you. And those types of things can be
Certain.
All right, go ahead,
Okay, so-
Roberta.
Make a- I withdraw the initial motion and restate it. Thank you, Dawn. So motion to review draft proclamation submitted by Benjamin Buckley to proclaim December 10th, 2024, and thereafter as Human Rights Day, allowing town council to review and present for adoption on December 9th, 2024, during town council's regular meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you.
Yes, you can have that, Sharon. You have Joel.
Mayor Vaughn,
Sir,
I'm wondering if we can also, on that topic, at the next meeting, discuss more. I was on the same page with you about the Human Rights Commission, and that perhaps we could discuss that more and maybe move towards advertising. Okay.
That's the simplest way instead of trying to do something.
Sure.
Approval of minutes, Nina?
Yeah. One moment. All right, I'll just go down the list. Move to approve the August 12th, 24 meeting minutes as presented.
Second on the motion. Thank you, George. Discussion on the motion.
I'd like to amend the August 12th meeting minutes, we had talked about this, to have page and number of, at the bottom. Page and number of, and then I think. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, if I add page numbers, I have to go back to all previous meeting minutes to add page numbers. That's not something we've been doing up until this point. Adding page numbers to the pages on all the minutes.
I thought we had agreed on that at a previous meeting where it's confusing when it comes off and it comes off the printer or.
I don't
And
think we've ever,
well, and I'm going through the records in here and it makes it nice to know how many pages make a complete set of meeting minutes. So if we knew that page 1 of X was always going to be on this, then we know that we're not missing anything when we go into the records for future, and we know that we have the complete set of meeting minutes.
I would suggest that we just abandon that issue for now, revert it, and I'll ask Nina to take a look at the feasibility of doing something like that.
I mean, I can do it, but I would rather recuse myself from that vote and have everyone else vote on me, because I would have to go back and redo all the meeting
No, I'm not
minutes. Yeah, I mean, if that's what everyone wants them to be handled, then, okay.
Instead of asking you to go back and amend every, that's not fun. So other than that, revert it.
That's it for August 12th, yes.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and we have a second. Is there any other discussion on the? This is what. Who was the second?
Well, there was an amendment for adding page numbers.
Okay. All right.
Number of
We're still
pages.
going.
Page and number of pages on each page. Yeah.
Okay. So we have an amendment. Is there a second on the amendment, the page numbers?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on the amendment?
This is for the current ones being submitted in prior or going
Just-
forward?
I think we should go.
Today going forward at this point.
Actually, well, we
Well, but then
voted on
we're
it.
voting on one set of meeting minutes, so we can't say going forward, because all we're doing is voting on this set of meeting minutes.
For August 12th meeting minutes, we would like to have the page and number of pages total on each page. Page X of X,
Okay.
page X of
All
Y.
right, so we have a motion, we second from that, discussion on the amendment motions. Hearing none, all those in favor of the amendment motion, raise your hand. Opposed? Motion carries. Back to the main motion, all those in favor of approving, August 12 reading. Opposed? Motion carries 6-1.
Okay, move to approve September 9th meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Second, Chris.
I have a quick typo amendment on that one. On the last page, which is not numbered, on item 6A with a typo, it should say JCD as a dog A, so JCB as a boy.
Okay.
And then I would, like those page numbers, number of
Um,
pages and
If you withdraw, I'll make a new motion with that correction in it, and then we'll go back through. So, move to approve the September 9th meeting minutes with the amended typo on item 6A to say JCDA. Yeah,
Second on that, second from, Zach, discussion on the motion. All those in favor of the amended motion? Second main motion, all those in favor of the amended motion?
there was only one motion.
Next one. And
Move to approve the October 14th meeting minutes as presented.
second on the motion, second from Chris. Discussion on the motion to approve October 14th. All those in favor of the motion? Motion carries, opposed, none. Motion carries 7-0.
All right, we're at the special meeting for September 13th, so move to approve the September 13th special meeting minutes as presented.
Second from George, discussion on the motion. All those in favor of the motion to approve?
I abstained because I wasn't present.
Okay, 6 votes, 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right,
One abstain.
Abstains are not counted.
move to
They're
approve.
recorded.
Yeah, I've recorded it.
Okay, then.
Move to approve the October 4th special meeting minutes as presented.
Second from Chris, discussion on the motion. All in favor? Opposed?
Are you abstaining for this? as
I
well?
know, sorry.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, man.
Yep.
And reports. Treasury report, zero approval finance for September 2024.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening's financials are for the end of September 2024. That represents 25% of the fiscal year. This is revision 1 for the general fund. Operating income is at 30% of projected and expenses are just about 28%. In waterworks, billing income is approximately 28.6% and expenses 25%. In the expense area, there are maintenance of mains, contracting billings that have been offset by renew and replace fund income in line 471B up in the income section. So that's bringing in the renew and replace monies that we use to pay some of those maintenance of mains contracting. Any questions?
I move to approve the financial reports for September 2024 as presented.
Discussion on the motion. Approved. All those in favor of the motion to approve? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Next item is approval of invoices. Have the bills on the table there. Any questions on any items that are there?
I move to approve the invoices and purchases for September 2024 as presented.
Second on the motion, second George, discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Opposed? Motion carries 6-1. Budget and finance,
Item 1, discussion and action regarding Harper Cemetery fiscal year 25 funding. This is funding that was previously approved to restore a section of iron fencing at the edge of the cemetery along Fillmore Street. I move to disperse $2,000 to the Harpers Ferry Cemetery Board of Trustees from 906 for fiscal year 25 for previously approved historic restoration.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Quick question.
I have some questions, if I can be permitted, Storm. These funds were previously approved. When were they approved?
Oh, this would have been, we had the big meeting in April.
Yeah.
So they're approved as part of your fiscal year budget, laying the levy back in late April was the final. The detail was in March 15th. How much?
Okay. And also, what, for this side, I was hoping that Greg would be in the room. I don't think you'd be able to answer that, but maybe somebody here. What percentage of the cemetery's operating funds or their funds expended does the town of Harpers Ferry supply?
I'm not certain, but it's actually town property.
Yeah, and actually on this particular, if you're talking about this project, On this project, the total project was, like $9,500. We're only contributing 2,000.
Okay, so this is, owned outright by the town of Harpers Ferry.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so we're approving, something for our own town.
We are.
Okay, very good, thank you. That's my question.
Just a quick point of clarification. Is this in the town right of way? Is that what you mean by
No, it's actually town land.
the cemetery?
So the trustees are appointed to be caretakers.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, I looked it up for a reason that I forgot.
Thank you.
For a reason we should have forgotten.
That was Gary's, probably.
Probably a long time ago. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the $2,000 is a final balance to what was the whole repair and
No,
replacement?
they have already paid their portion. They're asking for reimbursement as they requested, per their original request for, 906, Arts and Humanities funding in the fiscal 2025, budget.
So who's asking for reimbursement?
The cemetery, they have already paid the vendor. They're asking for cemetery to themselves. They showed proof of payment to the vendor. Budget and finance reviewed all this in detail.
I totally remember reading. Okay, that's all, just clarity. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? All right,
Oh,
And-
someone want to let the mayor mention.
They may want to stay out there because it's the mayoral thing.
Oh, you're right, yeah. Go back out. Sorry,
Where we can
got the next
roll
item.
The mayoral plaque.
Up to you.
Got your name all over it.
It's like when
all right.
Technically.
Next item is discussion and action regarding mayoral commemorative plaque on town hall. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, so the backstory on this is two prior mayors approached town hall requesting that the plaque on town hall be updated to include them. Originally, this amount was under the threshold. When the actual work was completed, it was over the threshold. So, and the cost was higher than initially estimated. Is this right, Patty? Did I scramble that?
Kind of.
You already approved the initial.
No, they didn't. No.
And then what happened was signed the contract. And before we had them, compare the final plaque, we realized that there were some modifications that had to be made. And basically, it was the whole room around the outside needed to be made wider. And we included installation, so therefore the price went over the threshold.
But,
Right.
but the item did not come to council per our procedure. The amount of the original estimate was allowed to be approved by me and the mayor. Upon presentation to us, the mayor recused himself, head of budget and finance took his place because the mayor's name was on it. So it was under the threshold that needed to come to you. But then, once the invoice was presented, there were some extra things that we hadn't gone through the process. So that's why it's here for you.
And it had been deemed as equivalent to maintenance. This is the plaque that has been existing, so it's updating. This was not a new or novel expense. So I moved to disperse up to $2,100 signed by tomorrow out of building maintenance for the purchase and installation of a commemorative mural plaque outside of town hall.
Do we have a second? Any discussion?
Yes, have they tried regular brushing to alleviate this problem? Thank you.
And the 2,100 is the entire amount. It's not the overrun.
Yes, it's
Okay.
that will cover the full bill.
Okay.
It's not a down payment of 4 easy payments.
Yeah.
No. Discussion and action regarding the town.
Oh, we haven't voted.
Oh, no,
All
that's
those
important.
in favor? Okay, anyone opposed? All right, let's get the mayor.
Come on.
The motion passes, a 6-0. All right, you can come on back. Hold outside too, left them out there. For a long time. We were on discussion and action regarding town hall lamppost.
Who's got that? You're gonna handle
Yeah, there's detail, but wooden posts that hold the lights in front of town hall deteriorated due to the elements and animal interventions. New metal posts have been selected, which are of a historical style similar to those on Potomac Street. Is there any more to it than that?
No, basically, we're gonna do the ramp, the lamps itself.
The fixtures.
Fixtures on the input. But the price, because of the shipping, bounced it over higher than what the American is, and that's why we are coming to council.
So I move to add up to $2,500 to 440 maintenance and repairs to buildings for the purchase and installation of 3 lamp posts to replace the posts in front of Town Hall.
Second on the motion, second from Chris, discussion on the motion. Roberta.
Where is the $2,500 coming from, that you're moving to?
General
Come out-
fund?
It's not moving around, it's coming out of, City Hall, building maintenance.
But that's, you said you're gonna take $2,500 and move it to 440. So where is it coming from? Can you read your motion? Ian?
That's, I had the motion as add 2,500 to 440 maintenance and repairs to buildings.
Add 20. As in.
No,
just
I
adding
think it's just,
25.
I think it's just coming out of building maintenance.
Okay,
Hey,
all right,
No, no,
then we,
fine.
Sorry, I wasn't.
let's see. Yeah, or if the second will. Sure. The second reading is great. Move to spend $2,500. Thank you, Roberta. To 440, $2,500 from 440 maintenance and repairs to buildings for the purchase and installation of 3 lamp posts to replace posts in front of Town Hall.
Second from Chris again, discussion, go ahead, Zach.
Point of clarification, spend or spend up to?
Up to, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Opposed, 0, motion carries 7. Discussion action regarding paving contract.
So this is the paving work for both the town and the waterworks that Town Hall had put out to bid. There was only one response, and it did not meet the minimum standards, not by a country mile. It had been hoped by putting it out when we did that we'd be able to secure a contractor and have the work before the winter. But currently contractors are just booked up is the word right now, and we've run out of time. So I move to rebid the paving contract to be out for 30 days with the intent of the work being done in the spring of 2025.
Second on the motion, second from Zach, discussion on the motion. George?
What, other than the plans, what streets did this include paving?
Zach, go ahead.
There are large, this came up through planning months and months ago.
Right.
Sections of East Ridge, Cliff Street, Gilmore, West Ridge, Franklin, I can't remember them all, but there's small potholes throughout there, that is pretty comprehensive list.
So this is not addressing the subsidence that 2 months ago we said we were gonna check into.
No, this is surface pavement, not structural.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roberta?
Yeah, and I think, Fillmore, because I sat in on the meeting,
Yes.
with Budget and Finance, I think Fillmore was included because I heard that you guys went out and marked all the, spots with, orange paint. And so I noticed orange paint on Fillmore, and, the orange paint on Fillmore, not really a pothole, it's, the road is non-existent anymore, it's totally worn away. So I'd like some more consideration on Fillmore to be given, because that is a very steep hill. It's getting torn up by the trucks. Trucks get stuck. Trucks can't even get down there to make deliveries for building products, for UPS, for Amazon. It's just crazy. Yeah. So I think more than just a pothole needs to be considered for that, Fillmore and Bound.
And when we put it out to bid, we had a full package, and there were areas that were designated to be cut,
Okay,
dug
yeah,
out,
oh,
and that's,
okay, yeah, but it's,
so it's more than pothole.
all right, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Opposed, motion carries 7. Discussion action regarding FY 25 general fund revision 2.
Okay, so, we should have a summary packet that I'll just pull my thoughts from if you want to follow along. Basically, we evaluated just exactly where revenue was as of October 15th and, found, The only thing to really adjust at this point early in the year was sales tax revenue up $5,000 to $280,000. Down in federal and state grants, we're increasing these amounts to compensate for the monies that are anticipated to be received on behalf of landmarks for the survey and planning project for the Gillison Weaver House. Am I saying that? The Weaver Gillison House. So this just shows the money that we'll be receiving. I'm going to tell you in a minute how it's going to come out of the budget. Just bear with me. We did have an insurance claim on a vehicle, and that money is being reflected on line 386. And then there's just some miscellaneous money that has come in, so maybe we need adjustment there for a total overall increase of 22,500. Moving down in the expense area, just a minor adjustment on our Region 9, as our dues were a little higher than I had put in there. We're moving our contingency up to just take care of the balance overflow as it all shifts out at the end. Then sanitation and health grants, that is $4,000 of fiscal 24 monies that we received for the opioid settlement money that needed to be added here to show how much money we have sitting in reserve to use on that project. Then at the 9/11 Historic Commission line, here is your monies that will go out for the grant, where we'll expend it. So up at the top, you've got it coming in under federal and state grants, and at the bottom, you've got it leaving under Historic Commission. So the total increase is 22,500.
I move to approve fiscal year 25 general fund revision 2 as presented.
Motion. Second from Chris, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
It's a roll call.
Yeah.
Roberta Meekert. Hi. Oh, and I just realized what's missing on my list. Stormy DeSanto,
Yes.
Chris Craig,
Yes.
George Owens,
Yes.
Zachary Morris,
Yes.
myself, yes. Mayor Vaughn?
Yes.
All right. Motion passes.
Discussion action regarding auditor selection for state mandated FY 24.
So each year, the state auditor's office requires the town to submit an audit of its finances. Budget and Finance went through the process that is prescribed by the state. It's a very particular grading system, and it has recommended a selection. I move to award the state mandated fiscal year 24 audit to Ahmad Associates Ltd. and to distribute upon receipt of appropriate documentation $10,031 plus the state administrative fee.
Second on the motion, second from Dana, discussion. All those in favor, of the motion, raise your hand. Opposed, 0. Motion carries 7-0. Discussion in action regarding resolution number 1 for water distribution system project phase number 1.
All right, so I'm getting used to this again. If you remember from the USDA loan, every month you all will be presented with billings that are to be, have been reviewed. They will have been reviewed by the engineer. They will have been reviewed by the design. They will be submitted from the contractor or any other bodies that perform work. And then you will have this resolution each month, and then after that, we send it down to the WDA and over to the bank for disbursement and funding into our account so we can write the checks. So resolution number 1, Town of Harpers Ferry, approving invoices relating to construction and other services for the water project and authorizing payment thereof. Whereas the Town of Harpers Ferry has reviewed the invoices attached here to and incorporated herein by reference in relation to the construction of the water project funded by the West Virginia Water Development Authority, EECG funds, and CNB Bank Construction Trust funds, and finds it follows. That none of the items for which payment is proposed have been requested from another source. That each item for which the payment is proposed to be paid is or was necessary in connection with the project and constitutes the cost of the project. That each of such costs have been otherwise properly incurred. That payment for each of the items is proposed is due and owing. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Council of Harpers Ferry that the payment of the attached invoices as summarized below are hereby authorized and directed. Region 9 PDC $3,000 in full, charge $32,500 for a total of $35,500.
I move to adopt resolution number 1 for water distribution system project phase 1 as submitted.
Second from Chris, Discussion on the motion? Dana, would you do a roll call?
Yes. Roberta Mead Curry? Aye. Storm Costanzo?
Yes.
Chris Craig?
Yes.
George Owens?
Yes.
Zachary Morris?
Yes.
Myself, yes, and Mayor Vaughn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Norm's gonna use himself for this item. No, no, sorry.
This is regarding the maintenance of mains contracting. Sorry, I didn't send the motion to. There is a maintenance of mains project that came forward. Here, I've got it right here. So there is a repair that needs to be done on the High Street water line. The estimate for the repair is $8,500. It's at Mainsburg in front of 270 High Street, which is why Storm has recused himself from this. It is a necessary repair, and so the actual estimate is $8,200. However, we're hoping to approve up to $8,500 to give a little bit of wiggle room. So I have a motion to that, which is move to approve up to $8,500 to Greenridge Contractors Inc. from Maintenance of Mains Contracted Services for estimate 21 mains work at 270 High Street.
Second on the motion, second for George, discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Zero, motion carried. 6-0. At the right reflect that, you won't get your hand up.
Yeah.
Did not participate in discussion. Discussion action regarding FY 25 budget revision number 2.
Actually gonna draw off that one. That was it. That was kind of a placeholder. We decided we didn't use it.
So we're moving on.
There's no action. We're not.
Yeah, I put that on before, you have to put the items on so long in advance, you better safe than sorry.
So we're going to number 10.
Yep.
Discussion and action regarding a grant opportunity through Region 9.
Nothing to report at this time.
Discussion and action regarding replacement of the desktop. I got real fast.
Desktop. I can't do it either.
Okay, desktop. At the water.
So, the computer down at the water plant, has been having some issues, that caused, the home screen to not connect to the cloud. I spent now or two down there at 2 different times with Advantage. It's not an ancient machine. The warranty went out this year, but, the hard drive is having some problems, the memory's having some problems, there's not enough RAM. So in the end, it seemed best to replace it. Since it is what they are using for communicating with the outside world, making reports and things like that, the mayor did approve it as an emergency purchase. So this is the time that is advising you that it has been approved. It is about $1,800 for the installation. $1,800, roughly, right around there.
This is just discussion, no action needed on our part.
Well, he's
Well,
already approved
It was
it as
approved as an
an
emergency.
purchase, yeah.
Quick question. Matt?
Yeah.
So you're saying how old is this machine?
I don't recall the exact year that it was purchased, but the warranty expired earlier this year.
Okay, and then there was no, I mean, I'm sure you're computer guys, I'm not a computer expert, but cleaning it up or
Yeah, I
kind of
spent
junk on it that
hours
needs to
doing
be
that.
emptied and maybe it would work.
Spent 2 hours paying a technician to do that, and we said, you know what? As we continue to spend money, we're not really getting anywhere. We got through one diagnostic, and then the next diagnostic just sat for 10 minutes. And so that's an indication that it's just really kind of at the end.
Okay, and this is just for the PCU unit, basically, or
The desktop computer.
it's not a screen, it's just the box of
The computer, I think it has a keyboard with it.
The police department, chief? I'll do let my report stand as presented, if there's any questions. Council?
No, that's just,
Thank you, Doctor. Chief, you can go ahead and split if you need. You got the COs, there was one correction, thank you, Chris, on that. So let's get care of. Planning, that,
Yeah, Planning Commission had a special meeting a couple weeks ago with Christy DeMuth from WU, our consultant on the comprehensive plan. We have approved our initial round of revisions on the text of the full comprehensive plan. The next steps are to include figures or images, as well as doing some formatting, and a matrix of prioritization of all our action items. That will happen over the next month, as long as Christy is available in December, late November, early December, for hopeful presentation to Town Council in the new year. Planning Commission has a regular meeting next week, November 19th, Tuesday.
any question for that?
Patty? Oh, that's what this page is. I will try and be brief. Parks and Rec report. We held our annual Art in the Park event on Saturday, October 26th. There was a mix of children and adults who attended, approximately 30 to 35 in all. This year's craft of creating pumpkins, or painting pumpkins, as well as trick-or-treat bags and orange baseball hats turned into pumpkins or other Halloween-themed headwear. It was very popular. We were able to save some funding this year as 30 of the pumpkins were donated to us by Cottage Hall Farm. Halloween night, we had approximately 24 small trick-or-treaters at the gazebo, along with a few groups of older young adults. This past Saturday, we held the third annual pumpkin roll contest. The crowd was estimated over 100 spectators. I think it was higher, with at least with 45 rollers who participated in the contest. Of those 45, 7 children and 7 adults made it through the hay bales and into the roll-off. And of those, the top 3 in each category were determined. The closest pumpkins that made it to the poll netted the first, second, and third place winners for both children and adults. Prizes were donated by local merchants. We thank for the adult prizes. First place, a snow tubing gift certificate for 2 from River Riders. Second place, we received a beautiful trinket box from Harper's Ferry Bookstore. And third place winner received a $20 gift certificate to Meadows Farm, from Meadows Farm. For the children, first place prize was a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle donated by the Village Shop. The second place winner received a candy basket donated by True Treats, and the third place winner received activity books and coloring pencils donated by Fair Trade. Proceeds from the event in the amount of $420 are being donated through the Appalachian Trail Conservancy to assist families who are our neighbors along the Appalachian Trail further south who were affected by the recent hurricane. We would also like to invite everyone to our next event, which will be the town Christmas tree lighting at the gazebo, which will take place on Wednesday, December 4th at 7 p.m. The final event for Parks and Rec for 2024 will be the annual cookie walk sale scheduled for Saturday, December 14th. We are still seeking local volunteer bakers to help provide cookies for this fun family event. More details will be forthcoming. As always, we thank the town council for support and efforts.
I just gotta say, my wife sent videos of that around to Facebook, and she got comments like back, like the residents of Harper's Ferry were lucky people in the Facebook. I mean, that was really a way to go. Yeah.
ORC,
No report.
Water Department, Steve?
Okay, October numbers, we had a unaccounted for water rate of 41%. I think it's a little bit better than last time this year. That was on billings of about 3.5 million gallons, and we filtered about 6.7. Then we had some backwash and some plant use and all the rest. But anyhow,
I figured we put 6.1 million gallons up to the tanks. So that's what we had there in terms of tanks. Fill rates, they went anywhere from about 58% full to 92% full. So that's pretty typical. It's a little bit lower on the low end than we have been, but we averaged about 76%, which is pretty normal. I did want to, Chris mentioned the film. There's also another piece of news that I wanted to share with the council in general. There is a public hearing tomorrow night, Tuesday, at the Jefferson County Commission. I'll tell you right now, I will not be able to attend because I've got Bolivar council meeting, but that meeting is at 7 p.m. They are hearing comment on a proposed bottling facility, Mountain Pure water bottling facility. From what it sounds like, this is in Middleway, and it's a 1 million square foot facility. I don't know at this point what they're planning to, what their production is, but if there's anybody from council that might be interested in participating and having something to say, or at least getting some information, that might be worthwhile. As Van Pitt says, we're all drinking out of the same bowl with different straws. And it gets a little bit nervous when the county continues to basically encourage more straws to be inserted into the same bowl that we're drinking from. Roberta?
Can I ask a question? I read that article, Steve, and I'm very concerned. In fact, I even already talked to a couple other commissioners, the ones that were running for office. Very concerned about this because if Elks Run is dry, the paper said it was going to be pulling from Turkey Run. And I don't know if Turkey Run goes into Elks Run or.
No, I can say that. I'm not familiar with Turkey Run.
Okay.
Okay, but again, the karst topography, no one really knows how it's all, how it's all connected. I did speak at I think it was the last of the public hearings for the county's comprehensive plan. I think I reported on that the last month, the month before. And my comments had to do with encouraging the county commission to reinvigorate, reinstitute. They have a water board that has been dormant for a while. And from what I heard at that meeting, there were lots of comments, public comments about the fact that the county has not done a water resources plan for the county since, I think, 2012. There's been a lot of building and continues to be a lot of growth plans. So that was I was one of the last speakers, and I certainly didn't have too much in the way of news to offer. I was able to provide a little bit more specifics in terms of our situation prior fall, having run dry. That had been mentioned, but I had more of the specifics of how long it went and what our situation was. So, so anyhow, this is something that just came across my email today, but I just put that out there. I don't know, Chris, if that's something you can make, but it doesn't have to be, Chris or any of you, certainly could go and speak on behalf of our interests. It'd be a shame if we fixed all our pipes and then found out we didn't have nothing to put through them.
Yes.
And I think that's, and I guess the other big good news is tomorrow is the first day for our new water operator. Turns out she's actually class 3 water operator, and we're very much looking forward to adding her to our team. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for getting her on board, because it's Bruce passed away in May, and Tom Hall really well. Chris Dyer too. I mean, Chris is going out to have hip surgery, hip replacement at the end of the month.
But Tom Hall has been, has been with us, and we would not be drinking water. Or we would not have water flowing out of our taps if it were not for our 80-year-old memory.
May I ask a question of the mayor?
Sure.
Since this meeting is, we're finding out about this, last minute, it's not technically on the agenda, but I certainly wouldn't be there representing the town, because I would be representing myself as a resident, and it deeply concerned me as a resident. So I hope we encourage more residents to go and speak, but do we want to have representation?
That's not, I mean, we can't address a decision like that.
Right. Yeah, I know, but in the future, if there's another meeting, then maybe downtown.
Thank you. Landmark.
Yeah, just to say that, Elaine Adele, after a year and a half of service, is, submitted her resignation from the Historic Landmarks Commission. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for everyone who participated in helping us kind of narrow down our options for the town logo. Currently, the designers are working on coming up with 2 different options, which will be presented at council. I know it's on the agenda for this month. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be done in time or not, but it'll be coming up in December. So I would like to postpone the action item until next month. And prior to the next meeting in December, Internal Operations Committee will be meeting to kick off the website project. So we'll have some updates beginning of December on the timeline for that as well.
Thank you.
Would you like to submit comments? I never actually got you my comments on the.
Well, you're going to see the 2 options we've narrowed down, and then yeah, we'll be able to help narrow it
You're
down.
the best seat for making comments.
Yeah.
Dark sky, so.
Or Zach, are you going to?
Oh, go ahead.
Sure. So the Dark Skies Committee has met a couple times. The night walking survey of the town's public streets and sidewalks is complete. The committee has started reviewing copies of municipalities' policies, but the important next step are 2 open houses. One that is going to be geared towards stakeholders. It's taking place at the end of this week on November 15th. There'll also be a public open house, and there will be a presentation and then a listening session to hear what everybody's hopes and concerns might be.
You have a date for that public one? Yeah.
I don't believe we have a date. We're going to see what the feedback is from the stakeholders, and then come up with a date for the public meeting, as well as a survey that people can participate in, regardless of whether they can make it to the open house.
And hopefully that open house public won't be in December when a lot of people are here, so hopefully you'll have that.
Don't have any more information right now.
New business. Yeah, we're gonna go to 7B, discussion action on replacement of damaged street light on Potomac Street. This is the one that was struck by a vehicle. Pictures were taken, report has been made.
I submitted it. I just wanted to make sure that we were aware of it and have an action plan. It's part of the Potomac Street lighting system, so there's at least one short-term rental that's right there. The sidewalk is significantly darker without that light, and coming up to Old Time Christmas, it'd be nice to have some additional light. If any input is needed on replacing the fixture, the Dark Sky Committee could weigh in, but I think the idea would be to match what is on the rest of Potomac Street.
Now is aware that we're dealing with insurance companies right now.
And in the meantime, we have contact with the California Electric because they were the original to see if they can assist in yeah, but.
Discussion on Hubbardsburg Ordinance 1723.04, sale of property not abutting public street, and the possibility of the town acquisition of such property.
This is something I added. Hubbardsburg Ordinance 1723.04 does state that no property in town that's not abutting a public street can be sold. Without getting into too many specifics, there are a couple lots in town that have recently come up for sale that are not abutting a public street. They are abutting Paper Street. I wanted this on here just to make it clear that in accordance with the comprehensive plan, the town has no intention of developing Zachary Taylor Paper Street into a paved street. And note that if those, I don't know how this would be handled, but perhaps move toward having the ordinance compliance officer write a letter to make sure that everyone's on the same page. The lots in question are fairly close to some other property the town does own. So if the ordinances do not allow for sale, I think that the door is open to donation or acquisition by the town, possibly. So I just wanted this on everyone's radar since this is, going on. And it came up at a planning commission and a Parks and Rec meeting.
Yeah, I saw this and looked at the ordinance. It was a little murky as to whether it is illegal. I'm not an attorney, let alone a land use attorney, but that the clause at the end saying that if this is something that existed before, you could sell it the same square footage. It wasn't clear if that's what it actually says.
I
So-
think that's bringing it up at the very early stages on this whole thing.
Got it.
We just want to be prepared, to confront this first and then.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's something that we're gonna need some legal counsel on. But, I did a little research today and, did find out because the ordinance mentions things prior to its date of acceptance. There's that 2015 date on that page. However, talking to Ed Wheelis, who was involved in that overhaul of the zoning ordinances, including this one, even though it's not under Part 13, he checked his notes and said that the only thing that happened in 2015 was to revise an existing ordinance with capitalizations and one error. So that was on the books prior to 2015, and we're not sure how much. It may take a little bit of research to find out when it was enacted.
Do we know what lots are you concerned about? Is there a lot and block that we can reference of?
I don't have the lot.
Okay.
They're back, if I may, the Town and Trail Alliance recently established the Ridge Street Connector Trail. They are sort of north of that trail, so back, north of Zachary Taylor Paper Street. So not easily accessible. I don't anticipate them being sold quickly. I also just wanted to bring it up because in planning commission and developing the new comprehensive plan, there has been discussion of conservation of some stream valleys and wooded areas. So if the town has the ability or is interested in trying to acquire them, it might be something interesting we could look at.
The interesting part of this is the lots look great on a flat map.
That's
true.
But they look like pristine lots.
Streets still rank fine.
Yes. Sure.
My concern on this is they are on the MLS. You go to realtor.com, they're listed.
That's correct.
And I sure as heck wouldn't want to have somebody consummate a sale and then come back at us. So I think at some point, the town really almost immediately needs to make clear that current status is until otherwise determined that you can't sell these darn things. I don't, and I'm not an attorney, but I mean, it just, since they're on the MLS and the people have been viewing them, there might be some joker just crazy enough, pardon me. There might be some individual who is just ambitious enough to go and buy something like this.
I would appreciate that. Jokers can also be very serious.
There you go. I withdraw both terms.
I think the important clarification tonight, if we're not able to take any other action, is that the town has no intention of developing the paper streets that run through them, aside from as trails or mini parks as the comprehensive plan states. So I think with that on the record, we at least have a stance that would serve going forward.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second from Storm. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn?
I, see you leave? Well,